Welcome to Jennifer to the Rescue. And just another week has passed, and we're here every Tuesday. As of 2015, we've moved to Tuesday. I still think Wednesday in my head, but Tuesday, and we're usually live streaming at noon from the beautiful Wofford Theater. We're a little delayed today. We had so much going on. The Muse was going crazy here, and we had to get them off stage. I'm just joking. They had quite a conversation, so you have to check in next week at 11 o'clock for the Muse. But Jennifer to the Rescue, I'm Jennifer Johnson, and I call myself a lyrical appreciation expert, and I help you connect with a number of things: cards, gifts, music, not social media, multimedia, which includes social media.
Yes.
And I just love the fact that every week I get to come. The whole idea of my show really was to bring people that I knew to my viewers, my listeners, and with the help of Logan Street Signs and Banners and the beautiful Wofford Theater, we're able to do that. And we're actually, look, it's Nicolette Jones from the Muse. She didn't go with the other two.
No.
So Amy and Sybil must be heading downtown to share the conversation with all.
You already know.
Yeah.
Ladies of action.
So you have to check out the Muse. Yeah.
Every week you just never know.
It was quite a good. Actually, it was a great conversation.
It was a great conversation.
It was
today.
definitely a woman's conversation.
It was.
But Nicolette, just glad to have you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We set this up. You're welcome. And I know you have a lot of things going on. Your show, like I said, the Muse, you did today kind of talk a little bit about what you're doing, which is a lot. So I am actually going to, but you're doing it all, and you're doing it well. And if people follow you on, in my opinion, and I think my opinion counts because I tend to bring good people to the platform here. But just tell me, who is Nicolette Jones?
Oh,
I mean, I know you have. Well, what? Tell me, is there like a little description of her in your mind? Do you have one?
wow.
I know I didn't warn you. That was a tough question.
No, it's a tough question. Nicolette, she really is, despite everything people may see her doing and involved in, she really is just a simple girl. Enjoys the simplicities of life. If you know her personally and you're in her home, everything is quite simple. There you have it. Just simple.
Well, I know you are very religious, very faith-driven.
Absolutely.
And we don't have to, I mean, you can say whatever.
I am.
I think that if you follow you on Facebook, if they find Nicolette
Yes.
Jones and follow you, they know that that's a big part of your life.
Absolutely.
And you're welcome to talk about that. I
Absolutely.
know that is a big part of what you do. But
Absolutely.
what are your businesses that, can you kind of in a nutshell, because I know, but
Yes.
my listeners and my viewers don't know.
Absolutely. Well, I am a co-owner and founder of Impeccable Design, LLC, which is a full-service event planning company where we plan events with elegance, efficiency, and pure artistry since 2008. I'm also owner of Fermintude, LLC, where we, from idea to launch, transform the lives of minority women entrepreneurs. And I also am an independent contractor with Primerica Financial Services, which is the nation's largest financial marketing firm. So those are the three businesses in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Well, you know what? I've known you for probably, a year and a half or something. But during that time, I have gotten to learn that you also have, how many children? 3 children?
I have 3 beautiful children.
You have 3 children.
Yes.
And really, your businesses have come out of, you can share what you want about how you got to Primerica, and that kind of led to Fermintude. I always want to add a little more to that, but what a word. And then obviously the Impeccable Designs is something that's you're very passionate about, and I've seen some of the pictures of different things, different events and stuff. So I know, and I know you've been involved in events that I've seen. So anyway, But just kind of go, can you tell us where all this started? Can you share? Are you able to get it?
So, in 1974.
No, not quite that far back, but...
But what I will say is that my entrepreneurial spirit not only has been placed in me by God, but my mom was an entrepreneur. Now, she'll never refer to herself as an entrepreneur, but she very much inspired me. And long story short, this lady, she didn't have college education. I think she tried and, didn't like it. She's her and my father, not from this country. They both came here from Honduras. But she opened up a preschool in the basement of our home. And I was one of the first students, and the neighbor kid was one of the first students. And so that's where it all started. That's where I began. I mean, obviously, as a little child, I'm watching her do her thing, and the preschool grew, and it had to move into a church. And, she pretty much taught all of the children there in the neighborhood that we came up. So that's what inspired me as far as being an entrepreneur.
So a strong woman in your world kind of was the. Now, just if you want, can you fast forward just a little to what, because Primerica really kind of, I think, came about because, and you don't have to tell the whole story, but I'm just saying, I know that you had some stories, or a story that leads up to why you found Primerica.
In about around 2008, when there was that whole big economic collapse, that everybody kind of experienced some pain during that time. Well, during that time, I was going through a very tumultuous period in my life as well. Not having a good marriage, loss of jobs. Husband had lost a job. I then lost, a job. So long story short, went through the whole bankruptcy, because you're losing a house, losing a car, pretty much losing, everything you have. And so it's pretty much, what you have on your back and your kids, right? So a couple of years after that, I'd gotten back on my feet and ran into someone who had introduced me to Primerica, and they taught me just some very basic financial concepts. And I'm like, geesh, where were all of these, where was this stuff before, and how come I didn't know these things growing up, and all of those things. So I'm very inspired by that, to the point that I was not only a client, but I decided to become an independent agent with Primerica, because I wanted to go and impact lives the way that person had come into my home and impacted my life, and help turn things around for me financially. So I wanted to do the same thing for others.
Great. What a good story. I like that one, because look at you, Doug. So now you have these 3 wonderful businesses that are going, and Fermintude. I got to read it again. If you look at it, I always want to add another one. But I know that under that, you do quite a bit. You do a lot of workshops, learning different opportunities. The Muse kind of probably is an offshoot of that. We'll talk about that a little bit, maybe a little bit. But not that the show is a result of Fermintude, but that is kind of your connection there. But anyway, we're going to talk more. We want to make sure, though, that everybody, we're going to come back from a break. We want to make sure that everybody can reach you. Nicolette, what's the best way to get to you?
Best way to get to me, I'm on Facebook. You can find me under Nicolette Jones, or you can find me under Fermintude. Also, on my website, www.ferminitudellc.com.
And there is a phone number. Is that okay?
The phone number, 500-4941. That's area code 317.
Okay, well, we will remind everybody again before. We'll come back and we're going to dig in a little bit more to some of these great ways to spend your tax refund.
Yeah, spend that tax money.
It is that time of year, isn't it?
It is that time of year.
Okay, we'll be right back.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Well, welcome back to Jennifer to the Rescue, and it is that time of year again where we're looking at tax season right around the corner, and we do want to say thank you to Logan Street Signs and Banners. I always want to make sure that we do that. We are here, we're at the coffee shop. We pushed those Muse people right out of here. No, they actually, Nicolette stuck around. But we are here at the coffee shop, and we're glad to be here today, and we're here every week somewhere. You never know where we're going to be, but we're here on Hamilton County Television. Nicolette Jones is my guest, and boy, you're definitely you're a Primerica independent representative. Is that okay? And that your Fermintude, you go out and help women. Primarily women.
Primarily women, yes.
Primarily, you're talking about different things. So I know you've had workshops, you've had classes. I mean, what do you call them? Workshops?
Sometimes they're called workshops. Sometimes they're just, maybe it's just some motivational speaking that I've done.
And you do a very good job of that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, I mean, I haven't been to your. I wish every time you put something out there, I'd think of, but when you've done a presentation, I'm like, she's very good at that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're very good. But go ahead.
God is good.
Yeah. And so part of what you're passionate about is to make, because of your background, that you want to share as much as you can.
Yes.
So one of your big things, not one of your big things, part of your message right now is what do you do with your tax refund?
What do you do with those tax dollars when they come in, right? Because, some of us are fortunate enough to get some tax dollars back, and some of us, we, after a week or two, you can't even tell that you had it.
You know what?
Can't even tell you got it back.
And I do follow Nicolette Jones on Facebook, so you can find her there. But I will just say one of the things you said, and I've seen your post, and probably it's one of many things you said, but you did say something that you got to think about. I'm always happy to get a refund, but we get a refund because we're overpaying.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, you get a refund because you're overpaying, and the biggest deal about that is not that you're overpaying in and of itself. It's what they do with your overpayment, and so they take that money. They've got to make money, too. So they take that money and they invest it. They do whatever. They grow money off your money and then.
I know, it's kind of like,
but you could be doing that for yourself.
It's exactly, and I'm sure that's what you help us with.
Yes.
To find out how you can keep more money and owe the government less money and still end up maybe even or something.
Yes.
But in the event that they do take more of my money,
right?
And what should I do with my tax refund?
So when your tax refund comes in, One of the great things, or there's a lot of great
making
things that you
notes.
can. That's great. A lot of great things that you can do with those dollars when they come in. One thing that you can do, if you haven't already, and even if you have, is to start an emergency fund. If you already have one, then contribute another lump sum to that emergency fund. But there are so many of us that don't have emergency funds, especially people who are making under $75,000. The people who should have an emergency fund do not have an emergency fund, and those that don't need one have one. Go figure. But so that is that's a critical thing. And then I would say you could put it in something that's called like municipal bonds, where while it's sitting there, it can grow at least 3 to 4%. It is an emergency fund, so you do have access to it. That's why you're not going to get the larger returns on it, but you do have access to it. But if you're not using it, why not let it grow? And it's an emergency fund, so we don't touch it for things like, oh my goodness, I ran out of shampoo. No, that's not what that's for.
But that's an emergency to some people.
Yeah, but not that kind of emergency.
Well, that's what.
So that's one thing we can do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So emergency fund. Okay.
Yes.
And what else?
The other thing that you can do with that is take money. So you're investing in your emergency fund, but how about also investing in yourself in terms of learning something or some kind of education? So I'm an entrepreneur, so I need to continuously, be investing in my personal development, but anybody should be.
Because as a small business owner, too, I mean, it's just clicking in my head now.
Yes.
If you're using it toward learning, and isn't that like educational dollars can be taken off as tax?
Yes, it can be expensed.
There you
Now,
go.
not only that.
There you go. Expense.
Yes.
There you go.
Not only that, but when you improve yourself, guess what? You improve your business. And when you improve
Sure.
your business, that means you improve, clients coming to you, or you raise money. So it comes back. It comes back to you.
That's a good idea. I'm glad those were two not terribly crazy things.
No,
I was
they're
like,
not terribly crazy
no, I was
things.
like, what is she going to tell me? Something about my, these little technical terms. No, it's easy enough.
No, it's
Put
easy
some
stuff.
money aside so you've got it. And you know what? Before we leave the emergency fund,
Yeah.
is there a rule of thumb? I know I've heard many times. What is a rule of thumb on emergency funds? How
In terms of how much you should have in there.
Yeah.
Some people will say 3 to 6 months. In this economy, I say 6 to 8 months of
you just
to
never
cover
know.
expenses and things, because you just never know. And sometimes the length of time now that it takes to to get a job.
Right,
you need to be
it's
covered.
not a quick thing. And then even if you were an entrepreneur and you're trying to get it going, it might
Yes.
make sense. Well, it does make sense because it at least takes you 6 to 8 months to really get a new
Yes,
new
venture
business
going, that's right.
off. Somebody's getting I don't know
All
if
the
they
way
can
in
hear
the
the
coffee
emergency.
shop, right? Too
Yeah.
much coffee.
Too much coffee. They're going crazy out there. And then the emergency fund, 6 to 8 months, and then the investing in your
Yes,
your-
invest in yourself. Yeah, it's personal development. So, go take a class or two. Go sharpen your skills on, whatever it is that you're out there doing already.
Come and take one of Nicolette's.
Come and take one of my workshops.
There you go. And do you have any workshops coming up?
I
or-
absolutely do.
Okay,
yes.
what do you have? I'll just.
February 19th.
February 19th already?
Yes, February 19th, 6:30 p.m. at Marion University.
Oh, Marion.
Yep.
Okay.
In Marion Hall, room 208.
And what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about how to spend like a boss.
Ooh, I like
Spend like a boss. So,
that. Now, if they found you on Facebook, or they went to feminitudellc.com, or they called you, will they be able to request this information?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So good. Okay, we are going to come back and we're going to make sure we kind of not wrap it up right away, but we will come back for another segment and make sure we touch on everything. If there's anything else you want to share, because I know you've got things going on. You probably got some events coming up in the spring or at least some projected plans,
Yes.
and we'll share that. We'll be right
Absolutely.
back at Jennifer to the Rescue. Don't go anywhere.
when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
Whatever she says.
Whatever she says.
Roll with it.
You just never know what she's going to say.
Yep, just roll with it. Roll with it.
I'm on? Oh my gosh! We're on!
Are we?
Yes, we are.
No
Isn't
way.
this? Yes, we are. Well, welcome back.
He does us so wrong.
Are we on?
He does us so
I'm
wrong.
rolling in.
Come on in. All right. We've just been having so much. It's like reminding me of The View or something.
Something.
I haven't watched The View in a long time, but I keep
Yeah,
hearing about
I
it.
haven't
Lots
either.
of movement on that show.
Yeah.
So we just thought we would add our own little cast of characters, and we'll talk about that. Welcome back to Jennifer to the Rescue. We are here every week at the Logan Street, actually at the Wofford Theater, and Logan Street Signs and Banners generously have given us this opportunity every week to come in, and I get to introduce and share my wonderful friends and connections with you, my listeners and my viewers. And this is Nicolette Jones. But before I do that, I got to make sure they know Jennifer to the
Absolutely.
Rescue. JenniferToTheRescue.com. I call myself a lyrical appreciation expert. I have people still laughing at that. It's not actually that funny anymore because it's like it really does do. I'm a musician, but I do music, cards, gifts, but I help you connect. I mean, that's really, I'm a connector.
Yes, she is.
I laugh. I think I am. And this is the wonderful group that's part of the Muse, the wonderful ladies. This is actually Nicolette has been my guest today, and Nicolette, tell everybody hi. Hi. And Nicolette, would you like to introduce the other two ladies, or?
Sure.
And the Muse is on at 11 a.m. right before us, although we've been having so much fun today, so everything's been running a little bit late. But who's that lady over there?
This lady right here. This lady is Amy Rubin, obviously one of our co-hosts for co-hostesses for the Muse, and this is Sybil Satterfield.
And Sybil did most of the talking. Well, she did a lot of the talking on your show today, which was actually a great show.
Yeah, it was a wonderful show.
And I'm sure that conversation will continue. We keep joking about that it hasn't ended yet because there's still, they rolled right out in their chairs, came right back in their chairs, and it was quite the show. And it's actually, you can get it on demand. So,
Yes.
I know that Fermintude is, Nicolette is kind of your it is your big thing. I say kind
Yeah.
of, it is your big. And we talked before the break, you're passionate about sharing with women,
Yes.
particularly women,
Yes.
because that is your story and
Right.
how you dug yourself out of financial, I don't want to say disaster, but
It was.
ruin.
It was a complete disaster.
And now you're actually you're doing workshops, you're doing motivational speaking,
Yes.
but you also can sit down with a client and
Yes.
help them look. Now, we talked about what you can do with your tax refund.
Yes.
Do you do refunds?
No.
No, you don't
Do
help.
not bring me your tax papers. I'm not doing
Okay,
them.
so you don't do that. but you
I'm not even doing my own.
But you can sit down. But you can sit down with somebody or a couple and talk to them about the things that they
Yes.
could do. Maybe now going 2015.
Yes,
and what they can
absolutely.
do before next tax season.
Yes.
How to, because I know I've had many people. We had a friend of ours who did meet with you. I think she and her husband,
Yes.
and she said she walked out saying, "Oh, I didn't know that." You know, I
Yes.
wish. So that's very cool. So I know that's part of some of the flavor of what you bring to the Muse is your unique entrepreneurial side of being this financial woman. And
Yes.
yeah, so that's very cool. How can they reach you again? We're going to talk to Amy and Sybil just a minute too, but
Yeah, absolutely. So the phone number is 317-500-4941. The website, you can also reach me through the website. If you go to the website, there's a contact page, so you can get to my email from there, www.fermintude.llc.com. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and all those nice little pages.
and you're very faith driven, and it's
Yes.
really refreshing because there's times I get on there and I really need to see that.
Yes, all of the work that I do is centered around my faith, comes from my faith. And so when I deal with my clients or when I have workshops, I tell everyone right off the top, that it's coming from that perspective. Yes.
Cool. Okay, so do you have, before we have time, so we're good, one quick, do you have any, either maybe one tip to leave them with, because we're going to make sure we get Amy and Sybil in here. Do you have any events that you're planning that maybe, hey, be looking for this? I mean, you don't have to give them a date,
Yes,
but
no, absolutely. So we have February 19th, which is coming
Right.
up. You want to be there, spend like a boss. We're going to talk about personal and business finances. So this
Sounds
will be
good to
good
me.
for anyone, whether you're a small business owner or whether you are just, a person who goes to work. It doesn't matter. Anyone can benefit from that. That's February 19th, 6:30. At Marian University. So just check out my contact info for all of that. And then also I'll be starting a new coaching group in March. So for those women who are wanting to launch a business, have an idea, not sure where to take it, come and chat with me so you can
Cool.
be part of that group.
cool. Well, we're going to take as much, not hours, ladies, but give me, Amy, you have so many things going on, and I know on your show today, you're all three part of the Muse, and you were finally introducing yourselves and sharing, and you have quite a few things under your hat too, or on your shoulders.
I do, and one of the great things is that we find with the Muse, I think, with our group, is that Nicolette talked about how faith was important to what she does. And I believe that faith is sort of a category of the mind, and what it is beyond that is up to anybody. That a secular humanist also understands the importance of faith and that more intuitive part of ourselves. So I don't see that as a barrier for communication, and I think that what we're good at with the Muse is finding a safe place for free thinking where our categories, what our religion is, what our color is,
Right.
what organizations we're affiliated with, don't really come in conflict so much. So, and that's what the Imaginarium is about, trying to create that sort of safe harbor for free thinking, which is really hard these days with media and mass media really so agenda driven. and organizations, corporate organizations, so agenda driven. Nonprofits, really, everyone's got their mission and they're coming at something from this angle or
Right.
that angle, and you really need that leisure, that free space we talked about during one of our episodes to kind of free your mind of some of those agendas.
So the Imaginarium,
Yes.
and Polymath is your
Right.
Your vintage
business. We have Polymath Vintage, www.polymathvintage.com. And we're also calling it Polymath Modern Vintage because it's really about using vintage clothes with modern fashion so that, it's more affordable. It's more sustainable. You're using clothes that already exist. So I'm wearing a vintage dress and a modified vintage scarf. We are located at the Midland Antique Mall downtown in Indianapolis.
And you didn't disappear.
No.
No, she didn't.
I don't know if I am.
Wait,
you
no,
didn't.
she's not. That's
Yeah.
right. The green, yeah,
Green
it's
is
just
a
green. That
tricky-
must be right. The
tricky
bright
color.
green. So, okay, the Imaginarium and Polymath. Now, will they find you on Facebook?
Yes. On Facebook, Amy Rubin, where I'm associated with all my different enterprises.
cool.
And also ImaginariumIndy.com, polymathvintage.com. All my emails are associated with those websites.
Cool, cool. And Sybil, before we run out of time, which I think we have, but that's okay. We want to make sure because we know you have something to say.
Oh yeah, always have something
I was
to
gonna
say.
say,
But
that's a
I'm going to
good
make
way
it
to-
real quick. I'm a leisurepreneur, okay? I just made up a new
That's why I love her.
leisureprenewer.
I love it.
Because I'm saying, oh man, they have wwws and I have like Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to find me, I have 2 sister groups on Facebook. One of them is called Seasons of Change, and it's a group that is primarily about promoting the idea of greater health and wellness through seasonal cleansing and fasting. And An Epiphany on Facebook is my product line group, but I do not sell in the group. I never try to sell. It's about education and fellowship and learning and sharing. So if you find Sybil Satterfield on Facebook, I think I'm the only one in the world. No, that's not true. The other ones are dead, though. Exactly. But I think I'm the only one on Facebook anyway. You'll find me, or you'll find Seasons of Change. You'll find me connected with the Muse or An Epiphany.
So, I will tell you, I've used some of her products. So if you want to look like me, I just thought that was a
Yes.
good way to end the show today.
Because you look good. I was going to ask you earlier how old you are,
Oh,
Jennifer.
that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. We'll leave you with that. These wonderful ladies, all 3 of them. Nicolette, thank you for being
Thank
my
you.
guest.
Thank
And
you,
ladies,
thank you.
thank you for stepping in
Thanks
and
for having
rolling in. Amy and Sybil. And check out the Muse. They are on Tuesdays at 11, right before my show at noon. And we thank you very much for joining us today. I always try to leave with what I call an upbeat, and I know we've gone over time, but I think this one is just good. And this one is Nelson Mandela, and there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. And I just thought that was kind of a neat one. Have a wonderful Valentine week and Valentine's Day. And we'll see you next week on Jennifer to the Rescue, or the Muse at 11. Thanks.